Love the name Street Fighter. This is one that was new, and it's important because what it means is you're going to get in and you're going to fight. You're going to scruff your head and nails, and you're going to do everything you can to make sure you win this case. And that's exactly what Roger and Carly and Andrew, Roger Booth, Carly Sanchez, and Andrew Pruitt did in this case. They went in against odds because it's against a government entity. And any of you guys who know, and I know, I've sued government entities. It's a brutally difficult thing to do to win those cases because of immunities and because of the discretionary standards. But they went after this case anyway. And you can tell just by the title of this case, Jacquelyn H. versus the County of Riverside, that we're talking about a child. We're talking about somebody who needs protection. We're talking about the most vulnerable of vulnerable people in our society. And don't miss that. Children are people, and children do feel pain, and children do have rights. And this child, Jackie, we like to call her, Jackie was not given the rights that she was entitled to. She was not protected by the people, as Roger says, were paid to do their job, were paid to protect her. And that's why he stepped into this case. And that's why he said, I'm going to make a difference. And he did make a difference. I'll tell you, the impact this case had is phenomenal. But let me get some facts to you right now. And the facts are that Jackie lived with her mom and her two brothers. And Jackie also lived with her mom's boyfriend. Now, her dad, bad guy, no longer with them, divorced, absolutely wanted to be out of that relationship. But the boyfriend, absolutely horrific, even worse. Now, Jackie's mom was mentally unstable. And so she had problems all of her own, brought in the boyfriend who was abusive. And when Jackie was 11 years old, the boyfriend started raping her. And when I say raping her, I mean on a daily basis for 3 years, he abused her. Now, Jackie at 11 years old said, this is wrong, this shouldn't happen, tells her mom. Nothing happens as far as her mom, except she gets in trouble. Then she tells her teacher. And her teacher, because of CANRA, which is the reporting, the mandatory reporting law, says, hey, I'm going to report this boyfriend to the Department of Public Services, the DPSS, and the Child Protective Services. She does so. They investigate. They bring Jackie in. And when they bring Jackie in, she gives a detailed accounting of the abuse that she's suffering. And when I say detailed, she goes to the level, and it's horrific, but of both vaginal and anal rape. And she tells them all, as an 11-year-old little girl, these are problems. They cross-report. The DPSS cross-reports to, guess who? The police. The police believe it. Boyfriend takes off. They were told, he's in Mexico. He's gone. We can't find him. Unfortunately, he wasn't in Mexico. He was in Hemet. Came back down. The DPSS didn't go back to Jackie's house, but the boyfriend did. On an entirely different subject, meaning her brothers had been abused, DPSS came back. And when DPS knocked on the door, it was the boyfriend who was there. And instead of immediately cross-reporting, what happened is that investigator, who should have known all that had gone on before, the files were all there, simply and awfully says the mother is mentally unstable. The boyfriend has to watch the mother. Oh, and the boyfriend potentially is abusive, so the mother has to watch the boyfriend. And there she set a safety record report together and left them together. The reason she was able to do that is because the initial investigation after the boyfriend took off was labeled inconclusive and the file was closed. Inconclusive. That's that discretionary standard. And they can do that. You can't sue them for that. But it went on, and they left Jackie for 2 more years to be raped on a daily basis by the boyfriend. And guess what happened at that point in time? Horrifically, Jackie got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, she came in and said, look, I have proof It's happening now. See, before you thought I was lying, and I have proof now. The boyfriend's the father of this child, and Roger's got the case. And he goes after it, finding a mandatory cross-reporting duty so he can get by the immunities. And he had to dig to do it because inconclusive was the title to that report. Let me tell you the resolution. The resolution was $10 million. $10 million settlement. What that does is it wakes up everybody's eyes as to why there needs to be changes in that Department of Child Services. And there has and were changes. Jackie, IQ of 73, right? That's 4th percentile, is now going to be taken care of for life. Boyfriend, 230-year sentence. That guy's never coming out of prison. Safeguards implemented, Department of Public Services, training. That's important. More hours in specialized placement to take care of these special kids. Child expanded audit. So if you have these high risk cases, these inconclusive findings are audited specially, expand those, and contracts to ensure compliance. But more importantly, they fired, let's say she resigned, the leader of the DPSS, and they fired, let's say he resigned, county council. Those people who ultimately had the responsibility, and everybody knows we have to have good leadership to get any change. Without leadership, we fail. And so what occurred as a result of this case was that Riverside now and the children of Riverside are far more protected, and the people who are supposed to and getting paid to protect their children are being forced to do so, and in very productive ways. That's why I believe Roger and Carly and Andrew are absolutely street fighters, and street fighters for the betterment of society. Thank you.